Wow.
All right.
Let's go, Jen.
Jen was supposed to call.
Jen has to
Let's
start.
go.
They can't start the meeting, Jen.
Where's the professional?
They don't come.
Right there.
We don't have a.
You say I gotta be here 6:30 for this?
Yes, the reorg.
I don't vote for you.
Don't vote for me. I don't
You
care.
don't.
I'm voting for you.
I don't vote.
Hey, children.
Okay, can we,
Hello.
oh my God.
I'd like to call the reorganization planning board meeting of January 2nd, 2020 to order. Adequate notice has been given in accordance with the Sunshine Law. Notice was published on December 12th,
I didn't see it.
2019.
You saw it.
In the local source in the Star Ledger, the official newspapers for the Township of Springfield for the year 2019, and posted in the Annex Building on December 13th, 2019. And let's do a flag salute.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I'm going to do a roll call. Committeeman Rich Huber,
Present.
Mr. David Barnett,
Here.
Mr. Andrew Schwartz is absent, Mr. Jerry Fernandez is absent, Ms. Sylviane Grisbowski is absent, Mr. Aaron Laufer,
Here.
Mr. Brian Brendel,
Here.
Ms. Sharon Kessel,
Here.
Mr. Jeff Tiger,
Here.
Ms. Marissa Ruggiero is going to be late, and Mr. Scott Bushna.
Here.
And we have a quorum. Okay, now I'm going to take a nomination for the chairman of the planning board.
Me.
I don't know.
I nominate, oh, you nominate,
I nominate me.
Can we
I'd like to make-
complicated?
I nominate
You're doing
this
it?
guy, Jeff Tiger.
Okay.
Second.
Are there any other nominations? Seeing no, I'll take a roll call.
Can I vote? I don't know if I vote. Do I vote out?
You can vote.
You can vote out?
Yep.
Ms. Sharon Kessel
Sharon.
Vote
for
for
Jeff Tiger.
Jeff Tiger.
Okay. Mr. David Barnett for Jeff Tiger.
Yes, for Jeff.
Committeeman Rich Huber for
Can I
Jeff
see
Tiger.
resume, please? Another one.
Oh, my goodness. Mr. Aaron Laufer for Jeff Tiger. Mr. Brian Brendel for Jeff Tiger.
I would say no if I was with him.
No, do I have to vote? Yes.
Mr. Jeff Tiger for Mr. Jeff Tiger.
Yes.
And Mr. Scott Wishna.
Yes.
Congratulations,
All right.
Jeff Tiger.
Perfect. Okay. Let's.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion, nominate Sharon Kessel for vice chair.
Second.
Who seconded that?
Me.
Okay. Are there any other nominations? Or are you supposed to say that?
Are there any other nominations?
It's your meeting now.
I know, but go ahead. Any other nominations? Seeing none, can we have a roll call?
Mr. David Barnett.
Yes.
Committeeman Huber.
Me.
Cheers.
Mr. Laufer.
Yes.
Mr. Brendel.
Yes.
Mr. Wishna.
Yes.
Ms. Kessel.
Yes.
And Chairman Tiger.
Yes. Absolutely.
Congratulations. Sharon
Thanks.
Kessel is the vice chair.
Yeah, can we have any nominations for the 2020 board attorney?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to nominate Glenn Keynes from Wiener Lesniak, not
Wiener Law Group.
Wiener Law Group, as board attorney.
I'll second that. Any other nominations?
No.
Seeing none, can we have a roll call?
Mr. Barnett.
Yes.
Chairman Tiger.
Yes.
Committeeman Huber. Mr. Laufer.
Yes.
Mr. Brendel.
Yes.
Mr. Wishna.
Yes.
And Vice Chair Kessel.
Yes.
Motion passes. Congratulations, Mr. Glenn Keynes is the board attorney for 2020.
Yes, so and as in other years, we've looked at doing as times have come up, we've, professionals have conflicts, things come up, they can't make meetings, they don't have ways of sending people, though that has not happened in the board attorney standpoint, but in this case, we're going to do can I have a nomination for conflict board attorney?
Mr. Chairman, prior to my nomination, I just want to put on public record that this board created a subcommittee to review proposals. The township had put out a request for proposals for our professionals for the year 2020 calendar year. This board formed a subcommittee of the chair, Jeff Tiger, the vice chair, Sharon Kessel, and myself to review proposals. We also interviewed various people who applied to us and chose, and I think as we go through, we'll mention to the board who we recommend first, who the subcommittee decided to recommend before we do the vote. Certainly Glenn Keynes and his firm was the first one that we had recommended. Who we recommend for conflict attorney is Scott Salmon of Jardim et al.
Any second?
Second.
Any other nominations for conflict board attorney?
Usually all in favor, no?
Seeing none, can we have a roll call?
Mr. Barnett?
Yes.
Vice Chair Kessel?
Yes.
Committeeman Huber?
Yes.
Mr. Laufer?
Yes.
Mr. Brendel?
Yes.
Mr. Wishna?
Yes.
And Chairman Tiger?
Yes, and then as
Motion
we've,
passes.
as Mr. Burnett said, we had the subcommittee, they reviewed it. I know we discussed for board engineer, do you want to kind of give the board?
Sure. So the subcommittee is going to suggest the reappointment of Keenan Hughes. We're very happy with...
No, board engineer.
I'm sorry.
Mike Disco.
Mike Disco, sorry. I was skipping
Keenan
over.
too, but Mike Disco.
We'll get to Keenan as well. Mike Disco, who has served as both a Springfield resident, served on this board and also as our board engineer for the past several years. We've been very happy with his performance, and his rates meet our budgets.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Can I have a roll
Who,
call?
I'm sorry, who,
I second.
you
Did
second,
it.
who made the motion? Mr. Barnett? Mr. Barnett?
Yes.
Vice Chair Kessel?
Yes.
Committeeman Huber?
Yes.
Mr. Laufer?
Yes.
Mr. Brendel?
Yes.
Mr. Wishna?
Yes.
Chairman Tiger?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Conflict board engineer, I think we discussed taking the township
Correct. Who is the
engineer.
township engineer?
Keller.
No, Keller Kirkpatrick.
Kelly
Yes,
Patrick.
Keller.
Kirkpatrick.
Mr. Chairman, make a motion to nominate Keller and Kirkpatrick as our conflict engineer.
I'll second.
Mr. Barnett?
Yes.
Chairman Tiger? Committeeman Huber?
Yes.
Mr. Laufer?
Yes.
Mr. Brendel?
Yes.
Mr. Wishna?
Yes.
And Vice Chair Kessel?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Perfect. Now, Sharon,
And as for the board planner, we interviewed several people, and the subcommittee recommends Mike Disco from...
No, Keenan.
Hughes.
Oh, sweet, Mike.
You both.
You did the opposite of me.
Yeah. Keenan Hughes.
We have been very happy with his performance in the past, and so that is, I'd like to make a motion to recommend him for board planner.
Second.
We have roll. Any other nominations? Seeing none.
Vice Chair Kessel?
Yes.
Mr. Barnett?
Yes.
Committeeman
Yes.
Huber? Mr. Laufer?
Yes.
Mr. Brendel?
Yes.
Mr. Wishna?
Yes.
Chairman Tiger?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, and then board planner, as conflicts happens, who did we, it would be the township planner, which is
Harbor?
Harbor Associates.
I'd like to recommend Harbor and Associates as for the conflict board planner.
Second.
Roll call. Any other conflict questions with the board planner? Anyone want to nominate anyone else? Seeing none, roll call.
Vice Chair Kessel?
Yes.
Mr. Barnett?
Yes.
Committeeman
Yes.
Huber? Mr. Laufer?
Yes.
Mr. Brendel?
Yes.
Mr. Wishner?
Yes.
Wishna, I'm sorry, and Chairman Tiger.
Yes.
Motion passes.
The next one is for planning board board secretary. Do we want to go in caucus and kind of talk about that together?
I wanted
Oh, my goodness.
somebody to oppose.
Oh, is-
I'm voting no.
oh, no, you're not.
I'm voting no.
So I think the board's been always very happy with Ms. Law.
Thank you.
Ms. Law has
Speak
always
for
been our
yourself.
board secretary, does a wonderful job, and is always a pleasure to work with. So I'll nominate Ms. Law for board secretary.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank
Any other nominations?
Nominate Chris. He's
Yeah,
here.
Chris, do you want to do it? Board secretary? What? What?
Second.
Thank you.
Can we have a roll call for you?
Thank you. Chairman Tiger.
Yes.
Vice Chair Kessel.
Yes.
Committeeman Huber.
No.
Did you really vote no for me?
I wanted in the record that it's.
Yes.
Mr. Barnett.
Yes.
Mr. Laufer.
Yes.
Mr. Brendel.
Yes.
And Mr. Wishna.
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you very much.
And then typically our board assistant secretary, in the event Ms. Law is sick or can't come or something happens, we would typically nominate our board engineer to be the backup. So does anyone have any concerns with that?
Nope.
No? So can I entertain a motion for for assistant?
Chairman.
I think Linda should. She has plenty.
Yeah, she has enough to do in there.
Linda's going to close the door now.
I'd like to nominate Mike Disco for assistant secretary.
Second.
Any other nominations? Mayor, do you want to do it? No? Okay, seeing none, can we have a roll call?
Mr. Barnett.
Yes.
Vice Chair Kessel.
Yes.
Committeeman Huber.
Yes.
Mr. Laufer.
Yes.
Mr. Brendel.
Yes.
Mr. Wishna.
Yes.
And Chairman Tiger.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, so typically we have two subcommittees on this board. The first subcommittee works with redevelopment, when redevelopment takes place, and the second subcommittee is when we typically review master plan, ordinance, things that come up, and so forth. So we wanted to form two subcommittees. So the first one would be like a redevelopment subcommittee, which typically Sharon and I would do, and Andrew Schwartz. Is anyone opposed to those three people being on it?
I could be an alternate on that if you want.
Sure.
Okay.
So is anyone opposed to that being subcommittee? So seeing that, the subcommittee for redevelopment will be Sharon, myself, and Andrew.
And David
as an alternate.
Okay.
That's fine. The next one would be an ordinance subcommittee. So Mr. Disco will come to us from time to time, and I know he has some of changes to the ordinances to kind of alleviate some of the problems that we've had. And that subcommittee would meet with them, make recommendations to the board, and then we make recommendations to the governing body. So typically, I thought of maybe a subcommittee. Anyone want to volunteer? Mr. Brendel, Mr. Wishna, Sharon? Do I have to just do it?
Let's make assignments.
So Sharon, Brian, and Mr. Wishna. Good. That's great.
Okay.
Anyone opposed?
Nope.
Nope? Okay, well, that's the subcommittee for ordinance committee. The next thing would be our official newspaper of the planning board. Typically, we have in the past, we've always done the Star Ledger. Last year, we changed to local source. It's very costly. Meetings change. So I think what we would like to entertain a motion is to do the local source and then the Star Ledger as the backup in the event we need to do something on a more quickly.
Now,
quicker
Mr.
scope.
Schwartz is not here to oppose it.
I know, when I saw his note that he wasn't going to be there, but he relinquished his ability by not being there. So can I entertain a motion for the local source as primary and the Star Ledger as secondary?
Second.
Anyone opposed? Can we have a roll call?
Vice Chair Kessel?
Yes.
Mr. Barnett?
Yes.
Committeeman Huber? Mr. Laufer?
Yes.
Mr. Brendel?
Yes.
Mr. Wishna?
Yes.
Chairman Tiger?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Meeting dates for 2020, I know the board secretary sent them around. The only date that is up in the air is November. November is lots of conflicts with Election Day, Teachers Convention that week, so we're going to have to give some thought about that. But we pretty much set the scale that we're going to be doing the first Monday of each month.
You've already screwed that up.
Well, with this meeting, it's on a Thursday because we wanted to accommodate some of potential changes, but typically it is the first Monday of every month, and Ms. Law will send out reminders for what the meetings are. If it's helpful, we can create calendar invites. If people want to do that, we can look into that so it's on your calendar potentially. I think we could probably do that as well, if that would be helpful. Anyone have any questions with the meetings?
I do. I think on the list, there's various Wednesdays and Thursdays.
Sometimes it's changing because Mondays are holidays like Labor Day,
Okay.
like there was one other Memorial Day. Veterans Day was on a Monday for the first Monday, so we had to make changes. Nothing's perfect, but we wanted to kind of tailor into line with what the governing body, they do the Monday, Tuesday, the second meetings of the month. It kind of works out for a lot of people from a planning standpoint.
Okay.
So, any questions?
Nope.
So I'm going to voice vote. Any abstain? Anyone have any concerns? Any objections? No. Okay, motion passes.
Okay.
Okay, so now we're going to, we have to adjourn for 10 minutes.
Prior to adjournment.
Actually, I could do the resolutions because our meeting was noticed for 6:30.
No, 7.
No, for
The
the
regular.
counselor. Can I do the, I got to wait till 7 for the,
Actually, we can do it.
So before we adjourn,
yeah, I want to,
I'd like to welcome Aaron Laufer to the board. Aaron's been a resident of Springfield for lots of years.
Too many.
Way too many. His son and his wife. Son's been very active in town as well. Aaron's been on the rent leveling board.
Red Levely Board and previously also on the Board of Health.
Great. So he's been in service of the town for years on other boards, and welcome here.
Thank you.
what's your
happy to
favorite
have you.
color and what do you tend to do with this position?
I'd like to say, welcome the mayor.
Well, we're not there yet. We're talking Aaron there.
Favorite color, I guess I'll go with green.
With green?
All right, now we know.
Good.
Now we know. Okay, well,
There you go. Jess color.
It's good.
You guys are good. Anyway, welcome. Feel free to, ask questions. We'll answer whatever you have, and you'll pick up the gist of it pretty quickly anyway.
I hope so. Thank you.
okay, so at this point, I'm going to entertain, well, actually, any members of the public, now I'll open up to the public for our reorg meeting on matters discussing for the reorg meeting. Anyone wish to come forward and discuss anything?
He wants you to read this board.
Yeah. Can you state your,
Good evening, Chris Capides, 122 Henshaw Avenue, but tonight I'm appearing and being very humble and honored to be the just named mayor of Springfield. And I want to say this, and I think it's very important too, especially since this is not televised. I want to wish you the best of luck this year in your endeavors. This is a very, very tough job. I've been up there for a brief time, and I know what it's like, but it's a very important one. And I value everything you do, and I wish you the best of luck this year. On behalf of the Township Committee, yesterday I talked about a team effort, and that's what this is. And I appreciate all the work that you do, you've done in the past, and continue to do. And if you need us, just know that the Township Committee is here for anything and everything. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Any other members of the public that wish to come forward? Seeing none, I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn our reorganization meeting and reorganization meeting.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Yeah.
Okay, motion passed.
You are just a contrarian tonight. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Mike, they didn't reappoint you to the engineer. I don't know what happened.
You're just board secretary.
You're board secretary now. You're board
What he's
secretary.
carrying.
And Jen's